Hey everybody, welcome to Block Set Review, the first episode. This is going to be a podcast that gives you exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to be reviewing block sets, specifically Lego sets. If that sounds really boring to you and frankly dumb to have as an audio form, because Lego is a very visual, very hands-on thing, I understand. But basically, I'm only making this podcast because it's something I want and I've wanted for years. And I don't feel like it's consistently available as a podcast. So I'm making a podcast about Lego sets. Specifically Lego sets, not so much the more creative side of things. I guess I'm sort of the Emmett from the Lego movie before Emmett became, super awesome. When he just liked following the instructions and he liked building things by the rules. That's me. I love building Lego sets. I am amazed by what the designers create and what they come up with. I myself am not so talented and am not so creative. I've enjoyed Lego since I was a kid, but very rarely do I do my own creations. And I have, on occasion, done some modifications. One or two little things I'm kind of semi-proud of, and I'm sure I'll have a chance to talk about those over the course of the show at some point on some episode. But this show is very much going to be focused on picking out one, or maybe multiple if they're small sets, boxed Lego sets, and talking about them, reviewing them. Now, even I know that probably one of the reasons there's not, at least that I can find, there's not really a podcast out there that just focuses on Lego sets. In fact, that I can find, and forgive me if I'm totally off base here, but I can only find one currently active Lego podcast, which blows my mind. Lego is huge. And it's probably, I suppose it's because Lego is such a visual medium that it takes a loon to do what I'm doing here and think you should do a podcast about it. But at the same time, it's something I want, so that's why I'm making this show. There's one Lego podcast I know about, and this gentleman does a great job. But it's a very different thing. He does talk about Lego sets sometimes. But I don't know how to put this without me sounding bad. Not him, but me. He's a very upbeat, outgoing, he's constantly doing interviews and very community focused, which is probably what most people want. I'm going to be catering to that small group of people who, like me, just want to turn on a podcast on their commute or while they're mowing the grass or doing dishes or whatever and just hear about Lego sets. There's not going to be a lot of fluff besides this right now when I'm setting up the show. There's not going to be a lot of community interviews and not a lot of hype, for better or worse. You're going to hear about Lego sets. But even I recognize that Lego is a very visual medium, so I want to invite you, if you would like, and if I figure this out, because I'm not tech savvy at all, as you'll figure out, but I am going to do a YouTube video for every episode of this podcast. So right now, on my desk, I have my phone recording a video, and the video is just a static image of the Lego Diner. And there's my hand for those of you watching the video. So you know it actually is a video and not just audio. And the idea is, at the very least, if you want to click on the video, your best bet is to actually mute the video. There'll be audio in the video, but it probably won't be very high quality because it's picking up through my phone. Your best bet is to mute the video, start it at the same time as you start the podcast episode. And I might actually point out details on the building. This is a podcast. You do not have to watch the video. I want to make that clear. But if you want to, I may point out details as I'm talking. And I think it would be cool to actually be able to see them, if you can see them. So hop on YouTube, look for Block Set Review, and watch the video at the same time as you listen to the podcast if you want to. Now, I know for me personally, I like sticking my podcast in my pocket, putting in earbuds. Like I said, in the car, please do not watch a video in the car. The great thing about podcasts is you can listen to them while you drive safely. You can't safely watch a video while you drive. Please don't do that. The video is not necessary. It's totally a bonus for every episode of this podcast, so you can look it up. That being said, let's just hop right into it. By the way, my name's Trevor. I'll talk more about myself later. I don't want to waste a lot of time on that. I'm Trevor. I'm a married man with a beautiful wife and a beautiful son who is 17 months old, and they're awesome. And I grew up playing with Lego. Even then, I was more about the sets than I was about being creative. Maybe that says a lot about me. I don't know. But I love Lego sets. You know, I spent some years away from them, as most people do. But as an adult, I think I was in my 20s. I'm in my 30s now. I date myself, I guess. But in my 20s, I rediscovered my passion for Lego. And it was thanks to the modular building series that I rediscovered my passion for Lego. So that brings us into the episode today. I just wanted to start off with... starting off with a big set was probably not a great idea. But this is the set I most recently built. In fact, I just finished it this past week. So it's fresh on my mind. And if possible, I want to review sets that are fresh on my mind. That's the goal here. So I have the Lego Creator Downtown Diner. Lego Creator Downtown Diner, set number 10260. If you don't want to check out the YouTube video that I put up to go with this episode, feel free to just Google Lego Downtown Diner and you can see what this thing looks like. So at least what I'm saying will make some sense. You know, that's an easy way to do it. If you want to ignore the video, no problem. This is a modular building, meaning I don't know how much in detail to go here. Some people may be listening to this that are just curious. Some people are listening to this who know more about Lego than I do, so I try not to bore those people. But basically, the modular series are buildings that can be put together. I think that's why they're considered modular. You can have just one, or you can connect a bunch of them together and create a whole city scene, basically. The modular buildings are also very large, very detailed, very expensive Lego sets that are aimed at an older crowd. The Downtown Diner box says ages 16 and up. I believe they've actually changed. The Lego's recently changing their branding. I wouldn't be surprised if the newest or the next modular doesn't have like a more adult looking box, less colorful. And instead of 16 and up, it might say 18 and up. I don't know. I think that's kind of silly, but that's something Lego's trying here lately to say basically, hey, we know adults love Lego too, and we're not ashamed of that anymore. And so, boom, this set is really for adults. Now, the modular buildings certainly could be enjoyed by kids. I would say young children would definitely need adult help, though. There's a lot, even with the wonderful instructions Lego always provides, the modular buildings have a lot of detail, a lot of small pieces, a lot of tight spaces. I think that would try the patience of even the best young child. But certainly could be a great family project. Or just something to do to de-stress from a very stressful day at work, as I did over the last 2 weeks. I'm very slow. I take my time with Lego sets. So I spent probably 30 or 45 minutes every evening that I could for 2 weeks. I mean, it probably added up to what? Maybe 8 hours or something of building. Honestly, maybe more than that. I tend to take my time, probably 8 to 10 hours. But just, maybe 45 minutes every evening for a couple weeks. The Lego Creator Downtown Diner, like I said, it's in the modular series. This series has been going on for quite some time. Currently on the market, you can get the newest modular is the Bookshop, and the Corner Garage was from last year. Those are definitely still available. I believe, I don't want to misspeak. The Downtown Diner, this is probably a good time for me to cover this one. It is listed as temporarily out of stock on Lego.com. And usually when they say that, it's true. I mean, I don't think it's gone for good. But it is temporarily out of stock. So, if you decide after this episode, or maybe just I reminded you that, hey, this set might be going out soon. Now's the time to get this set if you have the $170, because that's what it cost. If you have the $170, keep an eye on Lego.com. These modulars aren't really offered cheaper anywhere else anyways. I mean, you can get it on Amazon for $170. That's the retail price. Do it, or Target or Walmart or wherever. But Lego.com currently says it's temporarily out of stock. I think it will come back. But I imagine this set will probably go away for good next year. Possibly even after this year. I'm not sure. It is a 2018 modular. But they have been known to go away that quick. Sometimes they're around for years. The Fire Brigade, for those who might remember that one, it was around for ages. Probably because it's a fire station and it's just such a... sorry, I just noticed my hand was in the video. This video is not much of a video. I need to get into some details, so it's actually worth people checking out the video. But the Fire Brigade was around for years, but some of them, 2 to 3 years is about it. So this one, it might be around all of next year still yet. It might be going after this year. I wouldn't hesitate if it sounds appealing to you. So the Lego Creator Downtown Diner is, of course, an advanced build. It's a creator set, Creator Expert, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they've gotten rid of that branding. Hey, I can pick up the phone. There's no reason not to do that. Here's the box. See, Creator Expert, set 10260. I think they've gotten rid of that branding, though. I'm not sure what they're calling the new ones. Shoot, I should know that. I mean, the bookshop just came out. I can't remember if it says Creator Expert on the box. Doesn't really matter. The Downtown Diner. Let's get into it. This set appealed to me, A, because it's a modular, and those are what got me back into Lego. But B, because this set just has this classic retro look to it that I just love. Most of the other modular buildings do have more of a European flair to them, like a downtown London or whatever. This one looks very much Americana. This is not European looking at all. This is very American looking. But so it may not technically match perfectly with the other buildings, but I still love it. It's just this is the kind of place that I love to go eat. I mean, this is the kind of place that has the greasy burgers and fries and just the kind of cheesy but also quaint decor, and I just love the way it looks. So this is, like most modulars, not just the diner, although the diner is what's advertised. There are 3 stories to this. And like all the other modulars, you can remove each story quite easily. Usually the roof removes, then each level can be removed. And if you hear some clicking and clacking, that's because, like I said, I'm recording a simple video along with the episode, so there might be a little more background noise in your average podcast. I do apologize. But the modulars are meant to lift each part. And I don't know how much I'm going to be able to show on the video part, because again, if I wanted to do a Lego review video channel, that's what I would have done. But A, I don't have the equipment. B, I don't have the skills. And C, I wanted to create a podcast. That's what is lacking in Lego. There's tons of people doing amazing work in Lego video form. I wanted to do a podcast, so that's what I'm doing. But anyways, let's just start with the extra. This set comes with something extra, and it's a pink Cadillac. I mean, I guess there's no Cadillac branding, but it's a pink Cadillac. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the very last thing you build. And after this massive detailed building, it's a very quick build, but I like it. It's super solid. It looks cool. The pink color is just fantastic. And what car is better suited to go with this diner? But I won't spend too much time on that, because it's the set itself. The building the set was just very satisfying. I mean, with all the modular buildings, there's so many pieces, you're going to have some repetition. It's just inevitable. But I don't know. This one was a satisfying build. There was not a ton of repetition. There really wasn't. And you start out building the ground floor, which is admittedly my favorite part, and that's the diner itself. The ground floor is the diner. The next floor is a boxing gym, like a training gym. And there's stairs leading up. Like, there's a logical way to get to every single floor. Stairs leading up the side into the boxing gym. And then stairs up even further into the top floor, which is a radio station. A recording studio, I guess would be the more appropriate way to put it. And if you look, I'm going to back the setup all the way at the back of the table for those watching the video. The right side of the building very much ties in this whole radio flair, this music recording studio flair. I don't know, something about it. It almost looks like a jukebox. To me, the right side of the building looks like a jukebox. And that's just awesome. And let's just go over some exterior details. So on the ground floor, you have the distinguishing feature is this awesome rounded window section, which is just very. And for those watching the video, I'm going to take off the top couple levels so we can let a light in, because I don't have the best lighting here, frankly. But on the bottom level, there's these great windows that wrap around, and it's just this retro design. I love the way it looks. I love what they did with the white frame going around the window, the curved look. It makes this look like a corner building, although this is not actually technically a corner building. It's meant to have, it can't have a building butted up against both sides, but it also would make a good corner building because of the way it's designed. I love that window. I love the staircase going beside leading up to the second level of this building. It's very well done. The diner sign, I love it when Lego does words built out of Lego pieces. The diner lettering looks so good, and it was surprisingly interesting to build. It's always fascinating to me. I've done the roller coaster, and you actually spell out the word coaster on that one, and it's clever how it's done. The same thing here, diner. It just looks so good. If you go around to the right side of the building, you've got the actual door for the diner, and it says gyms. And I'll be honest, I've always noticed how it just says diner. I kind of didn't notice. Is that Jim's or Tim's? This is funny, because I just finished this thing a few days ago, and I've just absorbed a little bit of details on it every day because I just love it so much. And I've realized I've not paid a lot of attention to the front door. Is it Jim's or Tim's? Maybe it's supposed to be Tim's. Anyways, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I guess it's Jim's. But it's a cool door. It's it's plastic, but it looks like a glass door. It's printed. There's no stickers at all in the set. I think I'm being honest. Yeah, there's no stickers. There's no stickers, which is cool. That means everything you see that looks printed is printed. Let's see here. The sides, of course, aren't as interesting. The back of the diner, you have like the what do you call it? The vent from the stove, from the fryer, sticks out to the back, which actually I guess that's pretty accurate. Like, I don't think that's just a flaw. I think that's how it would be done. You got a little bin for trash around back, and you actually have a rear entrance. So there is some detail around the back of this thing. There's a little door which lets you in from the rear entrance. And there's actually a little light, like a spotlight, above the rear entrance. That's pretty cool. And like I said, if you wrap around then to the other side, you've got the cool staircase which leads up to the next floor. The inside of the diner, and for those watching the video, this is where I'm really going to struggle to show you all the details. But again, this is a podcast. There's other videos that'll show you the inside much better. Plus, hopefully, you'll be able to get the set yourself. But the inside of the diner is just wonderful. And this is probably still my favorite part of the set. Starting from the left side, you have some tools for the chef. An actually pretty convincing coffee maker, quite honestly. Little coffee maker there. You have the what I'm looking for, like the flat iron, the grill, the grill for this diner, and it looks like he has some. I believe it's supposed to be breakfast time because it looks to me like it's some bacon and pancakes. It could also be seen as some slabs of meat and buns, but I think it's supposed to be bacon because also there's somebody dining over here, and they just have a plate with a round disc on it. So I think that's supposed to be pancakes. The booths themselves look great. They're seating for 1, 2, 3 people. And there's signs on the walls that I think are tying in maybe the music theme a little bit. Like I feel like they really tried to tie in the music studio theme, since that's what's on the 3rd floor. There's they look like Hall of Fame, like the Star Hall of Fame signs all over the walls, except there's bricks in the center. And again, those are all printed pieces, no stickers in the set. And there's a jukebox in the back of the diner, and I absolutely love that. It's simple. It's very simple, but I just love details like that. And another one of my favorite parts is the bar in the center, which looks like it has maybe soda or juice or whatever. A couple of mugs. And then there's bar stools. Bar stools attached to the ground, but up on the bar. And they just look great. Finally, the checkered floor. The black and white checkered floor is just classic. It actually looks just like the floor I have in my basement. I'm going to show people watching the video. Yeah. Mine's not as cool, but I love it. It looks like a downtown diner. It's perfect. It's the floor is just perfect. Let's see here. All right, well, I think that covers the bottom floor partly. Let's look at the second floor, and we'll talk about it. I'm trying to not make this too awkward for people listening, because I don't want you to feel like you have to watch the video. But I am trying to make the video worth watching for those who choose to. So the second floor, if we put that back on, is the boxing gym. And the boxing gym is not as cool as the diner, but it's pretty awesome. Basically, you have a boxer and a very cool punching bag. He has a punching bag that actually is kind of realistic, the way it moves. There's a boxing ring, which is awesome. There is a water cooler, which is very convincing looking. There are dumbbells of apparently various weights. Very nice design. There's a large set of weights for bench pressing, which is awesome. Just very, very cool. Not as cool as the diner, but pretty neat. I think my favorite part of the second floor is just how classic the boxer himself looks, the minifigure that's included. He's got this magnificent, I would have said more like 70s hair, but it's just very nice. And the ring itself has this pretty red mat. It's just very nice. There's a clock on the wall. The water cooler is also very nice, very convincing, simple, but very nice. I like this floor. There's not as much to see as on the diner floor, but it's neat. And I mean, it's kind of random that there's a gym on the second floor, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. These downtown buildings can have multiple businesses that aren't necessarily connected. And then the third floor is the radio station. And I kind of mentioned this before, but I love on the radio station how it's just it just tops off the building so nicely. It looks so much like, I don't know, a jukebox is what keeps coming to my mind. This rounded shape as you go up the building. It just, I don't know, it makes me think of music. And there's an obvious antenna on the top. I mean, that makes me think of music, of course, but just the shape of it is just so wonderful. These windows, windows on each side, going all the way the length of the building, up that tower section. Just very nice. On this top floor, there's some plants outside the door. Maybe the music executive can come through the door and stand on the balcony, and some nice plants. See, if we spin this around, there's some plants in small planter boxes. Also on this third floor, there's an awesome, I almost missed this, an awesome spiral staircase that leads up to the third floor. And it's just, the way this was built was just so interesting. It was just so interesting the way this came together. It's like, it didn't even feel like it was really going to be a staircase. I knew that's what it was supposed to be, but once it finally came together, it's just perfect. And if I sound like I'm struggling a little bit, I apologize. I hope I'll get better at this balancing act. At the present time, I feel like I'm making a lousy podcast and a lousy video. I can assure you the video is lousy for those not watching. But I just want to give you something to kind of see along, to go along with me. Also, you can get up to the roof. There's roof access from this third floor. So you go up the spiral staircase. You can open the glass door to go into the recording studio. But if you take a ladder, you can actually get up on the roof. And there's some cool stuff to see up here. There really is. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. There's not that much. But there's a really cool skylight. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It's propped open with a stand. Excuse me. And it's the it lets a little natural light into the music studio. And it's pretty cool. Anyways, the music studio itself inside is pretty cool. It has some nice blue rugs. There's a golden record on the wall, so whoever owns the studio has had some success, obviously. There is a nice red chair. That's swivels, if I'm not mistaken. I just broke it off trying to show the video, but I think it swivels. A little table over there. There's more wall art. Again, printed. There's no labels. Rock and roll album cover. Some drinks. I'm sure that's just water or soda. You know, this is Lego after all, but there's some drinks and a couple of glasses. There's just a small recording booth, but it is very cool. And of course you have the microphone itself, which very much looks classic. It looks like it belongs to the era that the whole restaurant belongs to, which is cool. And you have your rock and roll singer, sort of Elvis wannabe, in there trying to record an album. Pretty awesome. And I think they really went over the top for this recording studio with sound dampeners. And that's probably not even the right way to put it. But there's panels, sound panels on the wall to provide that, to absorb the sound, you know, the echoes and everything. I don't know much about music recording, but they look legit. They look cool. And there's this window on that far wall to where you can see the producer, the person who's recording the artist. And she has what looks to be, I guess it's supposed to represent a soundboard of some sort. Big tape reels. Very cool. Just all printed parts that have been in other Lego sets. They weren't specifically made to be like a soundboard, but they do the job. They work. And that's pretty much the top floor. So yeah, you got the diner on the bottom floor, which is definitely the centerpiece of the building. You got the boxing gym on the second floor, and then the recording studio on the third. And if I had to rate the floors, let's see. I think I would give the diner is definitely the best. It's just wonderful detail. I think I actually like the top floor, the recording studio, second best. The booth is just really cool with the sound panels, the soundproofing panels. Um, just very nice. The microphone is very cool. But the second floor is no slouch. I mean, there's just really good detail in there. This set is detailed inside and out. I think it does a good job with that. There's so many details I didn't even mention. On the bottom floor, there's a gumball machine, which is really, really cute, for lack of a better word. This really cute looking gumball machine. I think my favorite thing about this whole set is just all the windows, and especially that bottom rounded one where you can really see into the diner. You can really see, especially if you have decent lighting. It's pitch dark outside right now. It's not helping, but you can just really see into the diner. I love that. I love the general look of it. Is just, to me, it's very appealing. It's very attractive. I didn't really go over the minifigures. I like good minifigures. They're not important to me, but I'm about the Lego set. I'm about the build. I'm about the look of the final product. The minifigures to me are always a bonus. But basically, to go into the minifigures real quick, you have, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To me, the modular buildings, excuse me, I'm knocking things over on the set. And I'm very OCD when it comes to that. It's bugging me. The modular buildings to me are never about the minifigures. I mean, only 6 minifigures in a $170 set is not impressive. But that's because you're not buying the set for the minifigures. They're just there to add to the scene, to add to the look. And I think they do that very well. You have a girl that just sort of looks like she's in normal street clothes with a ponytail. And I'm trying to remember. I think she's mostly a customer for the diner. On the box, it shows her working out. So obviously she can go to the boxing gym. It's just hitting me now as I'm talking. The boxing gym might just be a gym. Just a place to go work out. That has a boxing ring. But I think it's still, it has a boxing ring. So I think it's a boxing gym. Duh. But, of course, she can visit the gym. She can go to the music studio, wherever you want her to go. But she's also a patron for the diner. You have the boxer, who I think is very much meant to be a boxer. He's not wearing a shirt. He's got muscle print. He's got 2 red boxing gloves that are actually attached. They're his hands. They're not meant to really be removed. All Lego hands can be removed, but you know what I mean. They're part of his body. So he's meant to be in the boxing gym pretty much. If he wants to come down and eat a hamburger with his boxing gloves on, that's cool. But, I don't know, no shoes, no shirt, no service might apply. I'm not sure. Then you have the chef, and he looks great. He's got a button-down shirt, just real classic looking, and this awesome, I don't know what the name of those hats are, but like you'd see in a 1950s, 1960s diner. Just looks great. You got a girl on skates. She's great. Just love that minifigure. She very much looks like she's from the time period. She has light blue pants, blue striped shirt, and red roller skates. And she's carrying, I believe it's ice cream on a tray. Just great. It looks really cool when you have somebody in the pink Cadillac, and she's coming up to give them curbside service, pre-COVID curbside service. Then you have the well-dressed businesswoman who's using that top printing she has is one I've seen in a lot of sets. Or at least it's really close to what I've seen in a lot of sets. But she does the part. She looks like she could be a music executive. She could also easily be a patron to the diner. There's no reason she couldn't be. And then you got the rock and roll dude, and he's pretty awesome. For one thing, that guitar he's carrying is pretty awesome. It's just this red rock guitar. He's got this hair. It's almost like an Elvis hairdo. Very cool. Looks very sharp. He's got a pink undershirt. He's clearly meant to be the one driving the Cadillac. And yeah, that's probably 30% of the details in this set. There's so much left to discover on your own. But that's about as long as I want to go on it, I think. Just to give my final thoughts, because this is block set review. I'm actually going to review these sets. And obviously, as you can tell from these shoddy production values, Lego does not compensate me in any way for these reviews. If I review a set, it's one that I've bought because I want it. I'm not going to make any money off this podcast, so I've only bought these sets because I want them. So every set is going to get at least a semi-favorable review, unless Lego really drops the ball, because I'm not going to be picking up sets. Like, I'll throw a name out there, Jang Bricks. He just does an amazing job on videos. If Jang did a podcast, I wouldn't be doing this. There would be no reason to do this because it would be so much better. But to my knowledge, he doesn't. So I know he doesn't. So here I am. But Jang buys as much stuff as he can and then reviews it. I'm only going to be reviewing things that I wanted to buy. So if I have a set, it means I was very interested to begin with. So chances are, I'm probably going to like it at least a little bit because I chose to buy it. It's something I bought because I wanted to. That being said, I'm still going to be honest about any things I think could have been better, things that bugged me, and just what I thought about it overall. So this set, I'll be honest with you, there's none of the modular buildings that are a bust as far as I'm concerned. They all have at least something to be interesting. That being said, I've not bought every single one. Now, when I first got back into Lego, that's what I bought, period. And I did buy every one. But I've since stopped getting every one because I realize, well, I'm at that age now where I realize that more stuff doesn't make you happy. Also, money's kind of tight, like it is for most people. And Lego's a luxury item, and the modular buildings are definitely a luxury item. But I found a way to get the ones that are really, really stand out to me. And this is one I couldn't miss. Kind of like here from a few years ago, the Palace Cinema. I know that wasn't even people's favorite when it was first shown off, but when I saw it was like an old classic movie theater, I just knew I had to have it. And this is the same way. I love the classic diner look. The colors just are great. I guess if I had to come up with a negative, some people might be thrown off by the fact that this is such an American-looking building, but in a good way, in a classic downtown kind of way. So it may not fit completely with other modulars if you have other ones, but it works. I mean, you could see these buildings all being in the same city. I mean, it's not an absurd thought. But if you were trying to go for something that was distinctly European, and you know for sure your city is supposed to be a classic European city with only original buildings that have always been there, then probably a diner like this may not fit. For me, that's not a negative, but I'm just throwing that out there. See any other nitpicks, negatives? There were some parts that got a little frustrating building, but I think that's just par for the course. The instructions, as always, were wonderful and flawless, but there's just little fiddly parts with some of these modulars. But really, 2,480 pieces? There's not much frustration considering how many pieces I handled to put this thing together. It's a beautiful design. I think all the modulars are borderline works of art in their own way and just feats of engineering, of Lego engineering. But I like this a lot. To me, they're not all home runs. To me, this one was a home run. I'm seeing details even now looking at it. Here's an air conditioning unit. I didn't even mention, there's a lot out here I didn't even mention. There's just a mailbox. There's a toll for a meter for parking. I like how they put little studs out to where you can stand people for posing and things. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's about perfect for what it is. Even the price point is fair. I mean, when I first started getting modulars, the first one I bought was the Fire Brigade. The Fire Brigade was the first one I got. Unfortunately, the Green Grocer and the Marketplace, or Market Street, I think it's called, and the Corner Cafe, all those had already gone away. They'd already retired by the time I got back into Lego. I didn't even know they existed. I was in a Lego store and I saw the Fire Brigade, and I thought, that's amazing. What is this? So that was the first one I got. And it was $150. Probably about the same number of pieces as this set. You know, roughly the same size, roughly the same just volume of stuff just by looking at it. And it was $150. This one was $170. Quite a few years later, I think that's fair. I think it's reasonable. Stuff goes up. Stuff gets more expensive. Lego gets more expensive. If you look at the price per piece, it's extremely fair. I mean, what is that? 7 cents probably, maybe 8. I'm using my phone to record right now, so I can't really look it up. But, yeah, I think the value is there. I mean, the most recent modular that came out is the Bookshop, and it's the same price if I'm not mistaken. This one I think has quite a bit more detail on the inside, and to me even looks a little larger on the outside. Piece count wise, I think they're both similar. So yeah, I think, and then the Corner Garage is the one from 2019, and it's a $200 set. It seems a little bigger, but the piece count is similar. It looks a little bulkier. I mean, it's basically the same footprint. All the modulars, except for one, which maybe I'll review later. All the modulars basically fit on a 10 by 10, 10 inch by 10 inch base plate. Except for one that is much, much bigger. But, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm rambling. I think the value's there. You know, it's Lego. It's a premium product. It's expensive. You know that. You know that if you're looking to get it. But I think the value is there as far as Lego goes. The back of the building is not as interesting as the front. That's because you're not going to see it much. They would have had added probably another $40 to the price to add in tons of detail on the back. I think it's fine they don't do that. I love that the modular buildings are 100% closed in. You know, they're full structures. They're not open on the back. As an adult collector, I love that. For kids, I understand having the back of a building opened up so they can just get in there and play, you know, is awesome. But as an adult, I love that the buildings are closed in, and I don't mind that there's not much detail on the back. That's not a negative to me. And actually, the back of this one looks a little better. Actually, a lot better. A lot better than some of the modulars. There's actually 16 windows on the back of this thing. Small windows. It makes up 4 whole windows, but there's 4 small windows per window. So 16 windows. There's 2 doors. A really awesome staircase. And a rear entrance. So make that 3 doors around back. This actually looks much better from the back than most modulars. One side is completely plain, like most modulars. But the other side is extremely interesting. Like I said, this to me might be what sets this, and then I'm gonna let you go, but this might be one of the things that sets this modular apart. Normally, unless it's a corner building like the Grand Emporium, like the Corner Garage, or the Cafe Corner, unless it's a corner building, officially, most of the buildings are really boring on 2 of the sides, and pretty boring on the back, and look awesome from the front. Except for the corner buildings, which look really good on 2 sides, you know. This building is not a corner building, but it's got the detail on the side as if it were a corner building. It's fully detailed, not just on the front, but on the left side as well. Fully detailed. It's a great, great look, in fact. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, I love I didn't even mention this, the roof part, the roof railing, I'm not sure what to call it, of the diner portion of the bottom floor. Love it. It was built very neat, very simply but neat, and it's just a great effect. It looks so good. Okay, yeah. So my only negatives to this set don't even apply to me, but it's for people who are maybe thinking this may not look too good in their city because it looks very American, and most of the modulars look more European, I would say, for sure. But that's you. If you know that about yourself, then don't get it. But if you think it looks cool, then you're going to love building it. Let me just put it that way. There's nothing about it that's disappointing once you get it home. If you like what you see, you're going to love building it, and you're going to love it even more in person. It definitely, I promise, it definitely looks better in person than it does on this video. I can guarantee that. But that's pretty much it. Okay. So the Downtown Diner. I've not even thought if I want to assign like a number score. I'm going to set a precedent if I do it on this one. These are things I should have thought about before I started. Let's just go and do it. So, again, none of these sets are going to get terrible reviews because they're sets that I was interested in and was willing to spend money on for no reason but then for my own enjoyment. So Lego would have had to really drop the ball for me not to like it, at least. Let's see. I've not thought about a scale. I'll just go and give this a bite. I think this is a set you should buy if it looks interesting to you at all. Like, I think it's just, if I had to sign a number, I would go 9 out of 10. I like it that much. It's not I don't think it's my absolute favorite modular, but it would be in the running. I like it that much. Because I love the classic Americana diner look. I'm not thrown off by the fact that it doesn't completely meld with the other modulars. Even if I didn't put it in my city at all, which I'm definitely going to. And maybe I'll show you that sometime for those who watch the video portion of this podcast. But even if I didn't put it in my city, I totally would love it as a standalone building. But it's definitely going in my city. It'll fit in fine enough. I think it's a beautiful set. 9 out of 10. Maybe not my favorite modular, but I could be talked into it being top 2 or 3. Fantastic. Highly recommended. If you want it and you can afford it, get it now, because I believe it will be retired. Maybe at the end of this year. Yeah, like I said, Lego says they're out of stock right now. Usually when it says that, they are coming back, because it would say retired if it was retired. But, you know, this diner, it might be around for another year. It might be around next year still yet. I wouldn't take that chance if you really want it and you have the money for it now. Yeah. Go out and get it if you like what you've heard and or seen. Oh, thank you guys for sticking around. I know this was a little rough. Hopefully we'll get a little better each episode. If you think the video idea is stupid, I guess the best way to contact me right now would be to go into YouTube and comment on the video. I'll come up with another way to contact me, but for now, comment on the video if you think that's a waste of time, if you think maybe it's just distracting me too much, because I know it did distract me some. I just want this to be enjoyable. Every episode will not be this long, but this is a big set. I mean, this is a set that took 2 weeks on and off of building. It's 2,480 pieces. I think it deserves a longer episode. You know, if I review a set that's, you know, a $20, $30 set, it's not going to be very long. I might even do 2 of those in one episode. But that's it for now. Thank you for checking out Block Set Review. Where we'll review anything made of blocks, but mostly the Lego plastic kind. Definitely going to need a catchier slogan than that. For now, good night.